Hi guys, it's Olivia here from Olivia's Catastrophe, and today I'm here to give you my May TBR Pick and Mix edition. So in the month of April I read quite a lot of books, so I decided to go easy on myself in May. I'm going to be prioritizing my writing instead of my reading, and I'm going to be joining in with 3 readathons, which are Mental Healthathon, Books for the Brave and Believeathon. I'll be participating in all of these casually. I'm not sure how much I'm going to read, but I do have a TBR for each and every readathon. However, my TBR is going to be done in a pick and mix style. I've got 25 books here, but I'm not going to read all 25. I'm actually aiming to read 10. The mood reader in me lately has been screaming for some freedom, so I decided to pick 25 books I'm currently in the mood for, and then those are locked in, and I will choose based on my mood 10 of these books at the time to read. So first of all, I've got the current read that I'm reading that I don't have with me, and that is Death Note volumes 1 and 2 in the black edition, and this is something my sister has lent me, and it's over by my bedside, which is in a different room. I totally forgot to bring it for this video. I also want to carry some books over from my April TBR that I didn't get around to that I might be in the mood for. First of all, we have It by Stephen King, which I'm definitely going to finish. I am about halfway at 500 pages in. I just wasn't able to finish it during my 30 books in 30 days month, and I will definitely finish that this month. So that's one that's definitely locked in and definitely going to happen. Then we have Rebel by Mary Lou. I started it and I got only a couple pages in, but I just wasn't quite in the mood, but I might get in the mood later on. I'm not really going to tell you too much about these books, but just running through them here, and I give all my synopses in my wrap up when I actually have read the book, rather than deceive you with lies about the books. Then we have Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. Again, I started this one during last month and I got 50 pages in. Wasn't quite in the mood. Maybe my mood will change. We'll see. It's been off to a very intriguing start. And then the last one I'm carrying through is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I read Six of Crows last month. I really enjoyed it. However, where it ended didn't make me feel excited to pick up the next one. I felt like I could just read Six of Crows as a standalone and be very much okay. I know lots of people beg to differ because it does end with an open ending to segue into Crooked Kingdom, but I'm quite content not to read this, but we'll see if my mood changes and I get curious enough to pick it up. The next books I want to talk about are my Believeathon TBR books, and the first one is Just in Case by Meg Rosoff. This has been on my TBR forever, so long that I don't actually remember what it's about or how I got it, so it'd be nice to get to one of the old veterans on my TBR. Then we have Fortune Cookie by Kathy Cassidy, and I will definitely be reading this because The Chocolate Box Girls was one of my favourite series that I read last month. All about that you can hear in my wrap up, and I thought it was fantastic, and I'm so excited to get to the last book in the series, yet I'm also feeling a bit bittersweet because I don't want the series to end. I just want it to continue forever and ever. However, that can't happen, so looking forward to getting to this conclusion. Then we have the last 2 books in the Chronicles of Narnia. I would have read these last month, but then I found out that Believeathon was happening, and then I wanted to do it, and then I saw that these 2 books would be perfectly fitting for some prompts, so I saved them until later, so I'll probably definitely get to these. One of these is The Last Battle, which is the final book in the series, and then we have The Magician's Nephew, which is in chronological order the first book in the series, but from the way that I've chosen to read it, it's going to be my last book in the series. So it happens before The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, and I'm just curious to finish off the series and see what I'll make of these ones because The Magician's Nephew is typically a favourite among readers. And then we have a reread. I've been rereading old favourites and really enjoying that, so I thought I would reread Out of My Mind by Sharon M. Draper. This one has great disability rep. It was an emotional one for me. I absolutely loved it back when I read it, and I'm looking forward to reading it again. Then we have my Mental Healthathon TBR, and the first one is My Heart and Other Black Holes. Oh, by the way, I'm not doing all the prompts for Mental Healthathon because there's quite a few and I want to be easy on my reading this month, so I've just chosen a few to participate in. My Heart and Other Black Holes is a book that I recently mentioned on my channel for having had on my TBR for a very long time, and it's got one of my favourite titles and I am just intrigued, so I need to read it. Then we have The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filer, and this is one again that I can't even remember when, where or why I bought this, but it is Costa Booker of the Year, so it's won an award, and I've mentioned it on Instagram and some people said it's one of their favourite books of all time, so that gives me high hopes for this one. Then we have Darius the Great Is Not Okay by Adib Khorram, and this is one that Salia from Hustle Season really loved and really recommended. I won it in a giveaway from It Starts at Midnight, and I can't wait to read it because it just sounds like it's going to be the type of contemporary for me, and I've heard that the diversity is good. It takes place in Iran, I believe, and I've got a friend from Iran. Then we have Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, and this is Victoria's pick for the readathon, so I'll be reading her pick. I have read 2 John Green books in the past, both The Fault in Our Stars and Looking for Alaska, and I didn't particularly enjoy either one. I have a personal rule which is 3 strikes and you're out for an author, so this is essentially John Green's last chance, and if I don't like this one, I don't read any more John Green books. Let's see and let's hope it can be good. And last but not least, for Mental Healthathon, I have Paula by Isabel Allende, and I don't know if I'm gonna really get to this one. It's the one I am least pulled to from this TBR. But I chose it for Mental Healthathon because it's dealing with grief, and I do believe that grief should be included in Mental Healthathon because it does have a huge impact on your mental health. Next, I'm going to be talking about some buddy reads. So I'm buddy reading Artemis Fowl and Artemis Fowl Book 2, which is Artemis Fowl and the Arctic Incident, with Gaia from Readathon. I know that Cara from Wild Book Garden really loves these books, and also Stephanie from Book Fever, so I am looking forward to finally delving into these ones that have been recommended time and time again. I've already started Artemis Fowl with Gaia and it's going pretty good so far, so I think I'm going to enjoy the rest of them. And another buddy read I have this month is Horror Store by Grady Henricks, and I'm buddy reading this with Abby from Abby Back Reads. She's starting a blog and she does have a booktube. I have read My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Henricks, which is still one of my favourite horror novels that I have read to this day, so I am finally going to get to a second book by him and I hope I'm going to enjoy it just as much. This one comes in a unique format. It kind of reads like an IKEA catalogue. When it came out, bloggers went crazy about this book, so it's my turn. It's my turn. Then when I got here, I perused my sister's shelves and I found a lot of books that were on my TBR that she has, and she kindly lent them to me. So the first of which is The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy this one. I've heard both good and bad things about it, but it's one that's really well known, so I just want to try it and see what my own 2 cents will be. We have Rosencrantz and Guildenstern by Tom Stoppard, and this is a book that has been on my wishlist TBR forever. It is a play to do with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, who are both side characters in Hamlet, and I've heard that if you like Shakespeare, if you like Hamlet, this is fantastic, so I am excitement. I'll definitely get to this month. He also lent me Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister, and this is on my Books for Brave TBR. This is by Gregory Maguire, and my sister is a huge Gregory Maguire fan. I haven't read anything by Gregory Maguire, but because she's such a big fan, I was curious to try some myself. A similar story for Malice by John Gwynne. I don't know much about this other than my younger sister absolutely adores what she's read of this series, so I better jump on that train as well, because we tend to have quite a few of the same favourites. Then we have The Final Empire and The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. So I know that Rachel Marie and some others are hosting a read-along for these. I just don't know if I can commit to reading such big books after I finish it. I know that the live show for The Final Empire is happening midway through May. I just won't have it done by then. But if I do read The Final Empire, I can still watch back the live show. So I might end up reading this one later on in May and watching back. We shall see. And we have The Complete Works of Shakespeare. Why is this not the beautiful edition of Shakespeare I hauled in recently? Because that one is in the UK. That is the problem of living across 2 countries. Sometimes you want to read books now, but they're not in the country with you. This is my sister's edition of The Complete Works of Shakespeare, and she has let me borrow it before. So I will try and read some more Shakespeare, because now that I'm done reading all of the Sherlock Holmes novels, I want to read all of Shakespeare's plays. I've already read half of all of his plays, so I would just like to read 1 or 2 this month. I usually typically read a Shakespeare play in a single day, so it wouldn't be a problem to just fit 1 or 2 in. Then we've got a magazine in our TBR. Who has heard of this before? But this is Blog Sophia issue 23. I have not sat down and read a magazine in literally forever because I don't have much interest in them. However, this one is special because I am in it and my blog is in it, so I definitely want to, well, I've already read the one where I'm featured. However, I do want to sit down and read through all of these because it is about the influencer industry, and it talks about Instagram, YouTube, and also blogs, and it talks about different categories for each one, and I feel like I could learn a lot from reading about all these other influencers and all the interviews and such. Maybe it can help me with growing my own channel. And then last but not least, we have Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire Illustrated Edition. We all know what I think about Harry Potter, not the best, But I did say that I was just going to flick through the images here. I'm not actually going to read this book back to front because I have no interest in reading The Goblet of Fire again. But I will look at the images and just flip through it. Will I be able to actually count it to my reading goal this year? Probably not, but it's just here because I'm going to flip through it when I'm not in the mood to read, but I want to pretend that I'm reading. And there you have it, guys. Those are the books for my pick and mix TBR. I quite like the idea of being able to be flexible with what I'll read in the month. Let me know if you like this kind of video, and maybe if I enjoy doing this, I'll do more pick and mix TBRs in the future. Please let me know in the comment section down below what is one book that you really want to get to this month. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more, and don't forget to hit that bell notification to be updated every time I have a new video. And you know what they say, onwards and upwards. Excelsior!